receives a paycheck and translates that paycheck into a lifestyle. Understanding an organization's compensation program is critical in developing HR strategies that help employees feel motivated, recognized, and rewarded. Failing to understand compensation can lead to a disjointed effort in human resources, which can in turn minimize an organization's overall success. A variety of HR programs exist to help support the basic mission of human resources, to attract, motivate, and retain an effective workforce. Compensation programs are just one element of fulfilling this mission. When compensation programs are developed, administered, communicated, and managed in isolation, misalignment occurs and significant organizational resources are spent without corresponding results. HR generalists are uniquely positioned to help bridge the potential gap because of their broad exposure to all facets of the organization, as well as to employee perceptions and emerging issues. Thus, it is critical that HR generalists learn compensation basics. Changing organizational models, as well as HR's desire to integrate fully into the business partner role, has caused HR generalists to take on new responsibilities, including setting compensation strategies for divisions and business units. As line managers take on more responsibilities for activities that were previously solely HR's domain, such as attracting and recruiting job fairs, determining starting salaries, they in turn pursue HR generalists to focus intentionally on ensuring that total reward strategies are in sync. Thus, we can expect that HR generalists will face increased needs to understand and apply compensation principles. This move will help HR generalists to serve in a value-added capacity for their business units and truly serve as a business partner to line management. Let's take a look at some do's and don'ts. First, do's. Anticipate that changes will occur regularly in the compensation system. Salary ranges are reviewed annually along with merit budgets and incentive plans, and new programs are added and continually improved. Next, expect to manage programs sometimes based on data and sometimes based on principles. Inequities will exist, and it's important to identify and minimize them. Read all documents about the compensation system that are distributed to employees. Know what you're communicating to your employees. Next, ensure that information is provided is clear and specific. And finally, consider all existing pay programs when designing a new type of program, such as a spot incentive plan. Now let's take a look at the don'ts. First, compromise on principle-driven compensation system. It's essential to use consistent guidelines for all employees. And next, don't make comparison decisions in isolation without considering the interaction between compensation, benefits, and prerequisites as important components of the organization's compensation philosophy. Now, with these basic do and don'ts in mind, go manage compensation well as an HR partner. Compensation that attracts, retains, motivates, and engages is important to employees and employers alike. That's why a clear statement of your organization's compensation philosophy is so important. Let's take a look at what a compensation philosophy is and how to write one. According to World at Work, a compensation philosophy is simply a formal statement documenting an organization's position about employee compensation. It essentially explains the why behind employee pay and creates a framework for consistency. Employers can benefit from being transparent about their compensation philosophy and having an official pay strategy. Compensation philosophies are typically developed by the Human Resource Department in collaboration with an executive leadership team. The philosophy is based on many factors, including the company's financial position, the size of the organization, the industry, business objectives, salary survey information, and the level of difficulty in finding qualified talent based on the economy and external labor market, as well as the unique circumstances of the business. It is important for the compensation philosophy to be reviewed periodically and modified based on how well it's working and current factors affecting the organization. For example, market conditions may make it relatively difficult to find qualified talent in a particular specialization, and an employer may need to pay a premium for those candidates. If the employer's current compensation philosophy does not support this value, then the organization may need to change the philosophy to meet current needs. A compensation philosophy should explain the following: who the organization defines as labor competitors, how the organization prefers to set pay levels for its various job titles compared to the market, what the balance is between internal and external equity, the types of incentives used as well as eligibility, the type of culture and the results desired by the organization, and how well the compensation system supports each, the scope and type of programs used, for example, the extent of variable pay, and the role of quasi-compensation systems such as rewards and recognition. In some cases, a compensation philosophy is a written document. Some organizations will state their philosophy in policy. Others might have a standalone compensation philosophy document for communication and engagement purposes. In other cases, it's less documented and instead is recognized as a set of practices. The following are tips for creating a lasting compensation philosophy. Be as concise as possible. Your philosophy should be about 2 paragraphs in length. Maintain an optimistic yet realistic tone. Keep in mind that the organization has and will go through changes. Policy can change, but remember, your compensation philosophy should weather those changes with a few necessary adjustments. Ensure that your philosophy reflects some of the values already identified in your organization's mission, vision, and value statements. Consider using general language such as attractive, flexible, and market-based pay, or competitive in recruiting and retaining employees through high-quality compensation plans, or compensation program aligned with shareholder interest.